Surprise, and we have Barb Buell, Stan Strickland, and we have Del McCoury in the studio with us. So how are you all doing today?
Good morning, Amanda. How's Pat doing over there in the other studio? He doing pretty good?
He says it's good to hear from you.
All right. Good morning.
So, what are you doing hanging out in Allegheny County today?
Gosh, we're just doing everything we can do, you know, while we're here.
Talking about the festival and setting up the food drive and visiting all of our friends that have helped us promote the festival for the last few years. So we're sort of making the rounds, laying the groundwork for the festival 2 months from now.
And you got the liquor license, so you're good with that, right?
We will be pouring, and so everybody's going to be even happier, and we'll raise a lot of money. And the festival will have a good time, raise a lot of money for local charities.
You got some new things going on at the festival this year, right? Can you tell us about that?
Let me take that, Bill.
Yeah,
all right. We've made some changes in terms of how we talk about the area, and some changes to allow people to experience the festival in a different way. It's grown so quickly that you've got so many people out in the meadow, and they've come to see world-class musicians. Dale said we got to find a way to let them see what's going on stage, and so we're adding a jumbo screen. And it will not interfere with the live experience at all, but it will give people a chance with the cameras to be able to get in close. So when Ronnie McCoury's burning it up on the mandolin solo, you'll be able to see. And from that, it gives us a chance to let people know. We've got little clips that'll be going. It's called Delavision, and we'll explain that in a minute. But Delavision, the big screen, will allow us to talk about the other acts that are on multiple stages. And for those of you that don't know, this thing has grown to the point where we have, in the daytime, we have 4 different stages operating. A children's stage, we have what's called a workshop stage inside, we have a smaller stage set up that's in one part of the grounds, and then the main meadow for the main shows. And we're using this big screen. That will be a new feature this year, and we're using that not only to promote what's going on, but also to promote things that can be done in the community. So we were very fortunate to have Mountain Maryland sponsor Delavision, and we actually introduced it about a month and a half ago, where Del creates these little television spots that are on delfest.com, and he's sitting there on the screen and he tells you, here are the acts that are coming, here's how they're related to this festival and this music and the McCoury family, and we also use it as an opportunity to talk about what's going on in Cumberland.
That's awesome. And you're also going to be collecting some food during Delfest this year, right?
That's true, and Stan can tell you better about that too. But it's a ton of fun for a ton of food. Is that what it's called? Eh?
That's right. So we're encouraging people that come to the festival to bring extra food, and then to leave us with whatever they have left over. And so our local foundation, Barb, Susan Stewart, Doug Schwab, we're able to coordinate a big get a pod, a big container that'll be brought to the campgrounds, and we're literally trying to leave a ton of food for the food bank when we leave. And I think that our local, the Dell's Army, who have started doing a lot of charitable work here, they're going to use this as a focal point so the local community can get involved as well. But Dell and his family's vision from the beginning was to make an ongoing contribution to this area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got a new album out, right?
Yeah, we sure do.
Tell us about that.
Actually, the CD will be released April the 12th, and it's an album. It's called The Legacies, and it's the Del McCoury Band and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band from New Orleans. We did this album together, and we did it in San Francisco. We recorded 14 songs there, but we didn't get them all on the album, But we're doing a lot of dates already. We've done a lot of dates before the album is even released. And once the album's released, we're going to do more dates, even though I want to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to Bonnaroo, right?
Yeah, sure going to Bonnaroo.
Yeah. This thing is really, this project with Dell's opened a lot of doors. They just last weekend we were at the Symphony Hall with at home of the Boston Symphony, and the best venues in the world have opened their doors to this collaboration. Royce Hall at UCLA, and then the major music festivals start coming on board. They've always been big Dell fans, but Dell's playing Bonnaroo and Austin City Limits Festival and Gray Fox and So it's all the major music festivals this package is playing.
Yeah.
Why a jazz band?
Well, you know, that's what we wondered. But you know, folks come up to us or interviewers on their, you know, they'll talk to me over the phone or something. They'll say, "Well, now, this record, is it like you do a song and then the jazz band does a song?" I said, "No, it's all together. You know, it's all intertwined." And the thing about it is, the two musics there's a lot of similarities. You know, although the horns are usually louder than, say, a mandolin. But we got it all balanced, you know, and the shows are the sound, you know, is balanced out wherever you can hear everything. But yeah, the two musics go together, and you know, those horns are just so great. You know, we've got trumpet, clarinet, saxophone, and trombone, and got drums. Now the bluegrass music purists may not like those drums, you know, but we've got them. and a tuba. Oh, I got to tell you this. We played. I'm a member of the Grand Ole Opry, you know, and so I was playing the Opry one night, and Ben Jaffe from the Preservation Hall Jazz Band was playing in Nashville with the symphony at the Skimmerhorn. The Skimmerhorn.
Right.
So Ben called and wondered if we'd come and do a number or two with them at the Skimmerhorn. I said, "Well, we're doing the Opry that night." And then we got to thinking, wait a minute, the time will work. So we went over and played a couple with them, and then we said, "Well, how about we take your band over and we do the Opry?" And it was the first time they ever played the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
And we did a couple numbers with them then on the Grand Ole Opry. So we had Nashville covered that night, you know.
You got to tell them what happened though when you walked off stage.
Oh, yes, so I talked to the program manager there at the Grand Ole Opry, you know. He just happens to be a horn player from years ago. I don't know if he plays anymore, but I said, "Did you ever have a tuba on Opry?" He said, "I don't think so. We've had horns, but never a tuba." So I walked off the stage, you know, and backstage was Larry Stevenson. You know, he's got a bluegrass band, a great band, great singers, and it's a bluegrass band. And so Larry said to me, he said, "Now, does this mean all of us have to get a tuba in our band?" And I said, "Yes, it does." But it's fun. It's so much fun because that band, the jazz band, they're excited about it. It's something different for them. And also me and my band, it's something different. So the excitement shows through, you know, when we play the shows. It's just something different, and it probably has never been done before either, you know.
Oh, it definitely never been done. And it was shocking for the crowd when Dell walks off stage. Pete Fisher, the general manager of the Grand Ole Opry, he holds up a phone to Dell and said, "Dell, I got a phone call for you. It's Bill Monroe."
I forgot that.
So
back from the grave, man.
Yeah.
But you know, he was influenced by jazz music. You know, when he was young, he lived there in Kentucky, and there was a guy that came up on a boat or a ship or whatever, paddle wheeler probably, from New Orleans. He'd come up in Kentucky and stay there all summer, and he'd go back to New Orleans for the winter, you know. And Bill Monroe played with him when he was a kid, and so a lot of our music is influenced. Now, years ago, you couldn't have made me believe this, but we were influenced, you know, by jazz music in the beginning. Bill Monroe was, you know, and it comes through to all of the young bluegrass bands of today, you know. And Earl Scruggs, you know, the first three-finger style banjo player in bluegrass that popularized the style. You know, he played a lot of the old jazz and swing tunes on banjo, you know. He did. And I didn't realize that until I got older.
So
and also Don Reno was another innovator with the three-finger style, and he played Remington Ride and I forget all those tunes that he recorded on banjo, and they were actually swing tunes or jazz tunes from the Deep South, you know.
Do you envision any other groundbreaking mashups in the future?
No, I don't, but I think Stan does.
Well, Dale's, it's funny, the festival itself is a reflection of Dale's career, because he and the family, I was explaining to somebody earlier that they're like the Kennedys of the music business. They've got access everywhere. And so when you look at the lineup for this year's festival, people go, Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes, what in the world does that have to do with bluegrass? Well, bluegrass is an incredible art form like jazz, and you've got to be an accomplished musician just to hold your own. So these guys want to play with world-class musicians. They're all Dell fans. If you're a musician or don't know Dell, you're probably not a musician. At heart, you're not an artist. And so Chris Robinson's putting together a special thing to come here. Warren Haynes, people say, what does he have to do with it? This is Government Mule and Allman Brothers. Well, Dell and the boys have been on stage with the Allman Brothers. And Jason Carter, his fiddle player, has thrown down and done twin leads on stage with the Allman Brothers, playing Dwayne Allman's parts.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of collaborations out there, and that's how this festival came together, is how the music cross-pollinates. I mean, Dell's as comfortable with Robert Plant and Springsteen as he is Bobby Osborne.
Yeah. It's all related, when you go back. When I was a kid, I would never dream that, because I thought, but it is. It's all, I found out, all music is related when it goes way back in history, It all came together back then, even,
And Dell's collaborations and this festival have sparked a lot of things. We were talking on the drive in this morning about how many things have come out of Delfest. The Davison Brothers Band, local favorites and stuff, just got signed to a major deal. They're in. All predictions are from the heavyweights in Nashville that this band is going to be the next Brooks and Dunn, and about mashups. The people said they're going to be a combination of Brooks and Dunn and Leonard Skinner. Okay, that came out of Delfest. Came out with me and Dell standing on the side of the stage one night. You've had the Traveling McCoury's, his offshoot. He's got an incredible run right now, a successful career. They were born out of the late night sessions at Delfest. And I just came from another festival where they were touring separately. They were the Lee Boys, another weird collaboration, a black gospel act. And they had a huge crowd at a festival in North Florida playing this collaboration where his boys are plugged in and they're playing with a pedal steel and electric bass and drums. And it's just incredible. So, I mean, Delfest, we understand it better every year when we have our meetings the day after it's over about what an impact it's having, because right now we're showing people coming in for Delfest from 40 states.
Actually, 45 now.
Yeah, yeah. So we're at 40 states. So these kind of music fans are finding this festival and hopefully discovering Cumberland and Allegheny County in this process. And we know from talking to merchants that everybody's seeing record sales. So we hope they'll start experiencing your art galleries and restaurants downtown. And have a broader experience.
I just thought of something, if they ever build a bridge from Hawaii, we'll have folks from there too.
We may have already.
Because it's amazing the economic impact of this festival.
It
right?
is. I mean, people don't realize that. I think last year we had over 40 states and three countries. So they do manage to come over the pond. And once they get here, they do their shopping locally. They bring in also their beverages, food. Of course, when we have rain, they all go to find their rain gear. That was sold out the one year. And it really is, and that's the way we expose our community to people. Otherwise they don't even know we exist. So many people have learned about Mountain Maryland and what we have to offer because of the festival. It's hard to actually put a number on it, but it is phenomenal. And if I look at just the results in tourism, it continues to grow too. And I'm sure this has a big impact on it.
And there's just bigger and better plans each year,
Every
right?
year.
I mean, it's amazing how much it's grown. Because this is the third year?
Fourth year, and we're significantly ahead of last year. So we're expecting a huge crowd, and we're hoping this is the year that the local community understands what they've got in their backyard and they're out there to enjoy it. Because there's Dell and I bump into young people all the time. And they make their plans and they stay the whole time. They're coming out, even though their homes may be 10 miles away. They're coming and camping because they don't want to miss any music. Because it's an immersion in a culture. You've got music going on 4 stages from 11 o'clock in the morning till till midnight on the main stages, and then we go inside for an 1,100 seater where we've got another show that starts at 10 o'clock, runs till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then if that's not enough, people that want to ride their bikes and get in their golf carts or walk around, there's informal jam sessions going on all over the campgrounds. If you like real music and like being around people who just live for that kind of thing, you got it in your backyard. I don't think you're going to see a better lineup. Southern Living is coming out shortly with their list, and they put Delfest at the top of the list for the most family-friendly, and the top new festival and the most family-friendly festival in the country.
Because it is, you can't explain the vibe unless you've been there.
And it's funny, when Stan had mentioned that about Southern Living, I remember when I first took this job, I had a list of about 5 goals. 4 are completed. The 5th one was to be in Southern Living. And so, I know. So I'm very excited, because that was always one of those magazines that I used to always look at for places to go, things to do.
What were your other goals?
Oh, I remember most of them were numbers. It had to do with the number of visits to our website, our hotel motel tax. We've won state awards. We really, starting out, you have this vision, and you hope that you reach some of it. But that was one that I wasn't sure how we were going to get there, but thanks to Delfest, we are.
And tickets are easy to get a hold of, on sale now, right? So you gotta get them, because they're going to go fast.
Yeah, it's Delfest.com, and it's very easy to get your tickets. And we've made a lot of improvements for people, so there's not a backlog of traffic. How we get people through it, multiple lines to pick their tickets up. So it's very well thought out. We're very fortunate to have a good operating partner, the same people that run and own High Sierra on the West Coast. And we'll be talking later as we come back in town, but this festival has already spawned other festivals in the country because it's become such a model. And I'm hoping it's going to become a model for how festival promoters and operators work with city and county government, because we've got you got some great new people in office, and they have been unbelievably kind and generous to Dell and the rest of our staff since they've come on board. We're actually having lunch today with some commissioners.
And we're meeting Mayor Grimm this afternoon. And it's really refreshing, because they're as excited as we are about Delfest.
That's awesome. So is there anything else that you want to get out there for our listeners? Anything else on the agenda while you're in town?
Yes, come out to this beautiful location here in the Allegheny County Fairgrounds. It's so pretty there, And we just want to invite everybody to come to the Memorial Day weekend festival.
And if this tells you anything about the mood of the festival, you've had a lot of people be very, very generous to Dell, and Rocky Gap Resort's been incredible. They would put Dell in the governor's suite if he wanted to stay there for the weekend, and he won't do it. He said he said he didn't want to miss a minute. So Dell's bus rolls in backstage. And did you, in the last 3 years, have you left the fairgrounds?
No, I
One
didn't.
time, not once.
Slept out on the ground most of the time.
Wow.
No, I didn't sleep on the ground.
Yeah, if sleeping on the ground's a $750,000 bus backstage, yeah, he's sleeping on the ground. We should all sleep on the ground so well.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I wouldn't leave anything, till it's over.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I have friends and family that, won't come visit us, but they'll come to Delfest,
It is amazing the number of local people you talk to. And I just talked to my son or someone that moved away, and they're coming here for Delfest, and they're actually finding out about Delfest from people out of town. That are coming. And, I think people are visiting or on vacation, and they'll see the bus roll into town that says Cumberland, Maryland. And that's exciting. I've heard from people that, they're out of town, they catch your show, and you mentioned Cumberland, Maryland.
On the road during the year, when we play out on the road, people come up from every place we played, or every state, and they'll say, we was at the festival and we're coming back again this year. So they just come from everywhere.
Oh, we got one more little thing too. For those of you who attended Sunflower Fest, they've sort of rolled into our family. The guys Scythian that held the festival out there, they'll be back at Delfest.
Cool.
So they've sort of I don't think it sounds negative to say if you can't beat them, join them, but they realized, hey, we had a much better mousetrap. and so they're all going to be here too. So it's an unusual mix of talent this year.
Yeah, because that's more Celtic sounds, right? Or?
Yeah, I mean they're a really high energy Celtic dance band. I mean I saw them in D.C. just recently. There were 1,200 people doing some kind of weird punk polka. And having a great time. So
Yeah.
if you're a big punk polka fan, you can find it later on Real Fest.
So it's really eclectic. You got a lot of options to offer music fans of all kinds and all genres.
Well, and folks that don't think about coming out here without the kids. I mean, my kids will be there, Dell's kids and grandkids, everybody's there. Pretty much all of our staff, they bring them because it's a very safe, family-friendly environment, and it's very immersive, meaning that once you're out there, we've got everything. I mean, and Dell's stamp is on this festival in more ways than people could realize. To the price of to the cost of a cup of beer, or what the food cost, or what we charge for ice at the campgrounds, because Dell wanted this to be fair. And that's what he's always treated people. He worked for his money his whole life, so he respects that. So you're going to get a lot of value, a lot of music, some of the best price tickets, in the country. And then when you're there, you've got such an unbelievable collection of food and food vendors. And there's a children's stage with a full children's program. We work with company with Andy Vick, and so the Allegheny Arts, and so the art bus is out there. I mean, we're trying to make sure that there's something for everybody. So, and for anybody that wants to check it out, come out for a day. I mean, you'll be proud of how your community is represented.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Amanda. Thanks, Pat.